Yep, that's the problem. That was not impressive. That's high voltage, all this high voltage. I know you homeowners are trying to save a nickel because half of your dealers out there can't get to you forever, or they screw you over for $300, $400 an hour. So I understand why you're doing it. Got to be careful. I'm not responsible for you guys getting hurt.
This video is brought to you in part by TruTech Tools. Quality tools, essential support.
All right, guys, you know I love these things. I've been here once before. It's been a year or two. And here we are again. Same thing, doesn't start. And then the emergency comes. Well, you had so many spider webs there, you could possibly see that you have a yellow and a green LED at the same time. Both breakers are on. Last time I think it was a battery. It's probably just due for its maintenance. Says ready to run. Now she might be going off that verifier that doesn't work right half the time. It has a crappy transmitter that most of the time can't even transfer through the wall right there. Let's check our oil. I've done some review videos on how to maintenance these things so you don't have these problems on a routine basis. I replaced the battery like I said. Looks like it was replaced in 22. See if we got any corrosion. None there. Not really any there. Water levels probably need to be checked to make sure they're okay. You can tell this thing is not ran though. It says ready to run. Let's see what we got here. You're really, really low on oil there. The oil is just barely on the add mark here. And see, the thing is, these are not liquid cooled motors. They use oil. They're gonna burn oil. They run hot because they are not liquid cooled. So you're gonna use oil. If manual was read, you would see that these need to be checked every 24 hours of continuous runtime. So if you've ran it solid for a day, you're supposed to stop it. Check the oil level, add if necessary. These generally only hold about 1.9, 1.78, you know, somewhere in that area, depending on the engine size, which I think this one here is it's a 999. So it's about 1.9 quarts, I believe. So it's not even 2 quarts. So if you have to add, sometimes it's only about this much oil out of a quart. So we know the oil level's fine. Let's go ahead and see if we can get this thing to start and see what we get. Go to manual. That was not impressive. Done a little faster there. Looks like it lost the date, so we're probably losing the controller. Yeah, this controller's taking a crap. That sounded a little funny on shutdown there. Just took the cover off. You can tell the bees have been in there. Looks like they're gone. That one's dead. Got the cover off. Wouldn't hurt probably to blow some of this crap out. Has the shutdown device here for the air conditioners and stuff like that, which just got geothermal. That's high voltage. All this crap's high voltage. So I know you homeowners are trying to save a nickel because half of your half-ass dealers out there can't get to you forever, or they screw you over for $300, $400 an hour. So I understand why you're doing it, but got to be careful. I'm not responsible for you guys getting hurt. If you don't know what you're doing, you shouldn't be in here playing. And as far as the verifier that she's not happy with because it's not working right, I think they're just plumb junk, and she just needs to use her little lights out here. Okay, I do have some 5W30 full synthetic oil here. Put a little bit in there, you don't want to get crazy. And then while that's draining, let's go here and blow out this. We just did you can see the circle there on the top one full now. It is so hard to see this. So now at least we have our oil taken care of, and as you can see, we didn't use much. Let's go ahead and pull that fuse and see if this thing kicks on and transfers over. Got us a idea, 30 amp, 250 volt. I usually have links to these things down below, guys. That's how I make a little extra money for doing these videos. These things take a lot of time to do. That's why you see that mandatory commercial in the beginning and the rest are skippable. So we should have had it on auto. It says now utility loss, pausing for 10 seconds. It's gonna start up, stabilize, then transfer over. Then we put the fuse back, it should wonderful. It's running, let's see what our voltage is. If I thought we actually had some electrical issues, I'd go grab my more detailed benchtop meter, but accuracy wise this is fine for voltage, it just doesn't have frequency on it. So running right in there at 242, you can see we're having some load shift. That's why I dropped the voltage a little bit there. So we're perfectly okay on that. Let's go ahead and take a look at our amp draw. So we do have 17 amps on the one, 18 on the other. That's a really nice balanced load. That's probably the air conditioner running. Let's go ahead and check our DC voltage on our transfer switch. Go between common and the transfer wire, should be 12 volts. Go between the DC common and DC 12 volt positive, we're at 11.4. Not the highest voltage in the world. I wonder if we got voltage drop or something going on there. Let's get down here and see what our battery is. That's going post to post. Let's go from battery terminal to battery terminal. Also 13.3. Might just be some sort of drop. It's transferred. I ain't too horribly worried about it. Make sure all these micro switches, which are your limit switches, so that it breaks power to the coil, are back to normal. Let's go ahead and put this back together. That's going to allow it. Now, like I said, that's not safe unless you're using this, and even then they do not recommend doing that. It's gonna run and transfer like that right there. So the generator's on level. It weighs a couple pounds. Anyhow, as far as the generator's concerned, looks fairly decent. Let's go ahead and run a test on the battery. There we go, and we can check water levels while we're at it. There we go. Chemical crankings are these. 515, which is a little low. Good. 13.4 comes in at only 434 cold cranking amps. The resistance is not too bad. Theoretically, the battery checks out fine. It was just replaced, like I said, 5 of 22 it looks like. And the sticker down here says 22 also. So let's go ahead and write that also with a marker. That way there's no mistake on when it was put in. Yeah, I'm out here in the country a little bit. Spark plug's tight. Tight. Go ahead and tighten this back up, and then we can check those water levels and see where they're at. That way we make sure that the battery's not being exposed. The plates anyhow are exposed. You want those to be wet and under the water. So maybe scoot this forward a little bit. You can tell that Generac screwed the pooch on this one here. Water levels are all okay. All of them are up to right where they need to be at. So we'll go ahead and get this back together and wipe this top off, which probably should have wiped it off ahead of time, but I don't want to wipe it off while everything's exposed and have stuff to get in there. There we go. Wiped away. And be careful you don't short it into something as you're shoving it back into place, because it's, like I said, a crap design. What we're gonna do, we're gonna check the spark plugs, make sure the gap and stuff's okay on it. I know sometimes that gets mistakenly not set correctly, especially if you guys don't have the books. So I usually I got this new Harbor Freight extension, which is awesome, and universal. I removed these brackets. I have enough of them. I've not needed them yet for changing engines. It's mainly for the factory. That's going to make it much easier to get into the spark plugs. Get your hand right onto it. Let's check this air filter, make sure, because last time I was here, the mice got into it and chewed holes in the filter and stuff. I think I had to fill it with some silicone to fill the holes in, see if the mice got in there and screwed things up again, because they're definitely out here. Nope. Still good. No mices this time. The tune-up kits just are not always needed, honestly. It's just convenient that it has the air filter and oil filter in there, but generally they never are dirty enough unless you're constantly losing your power. Okay, this one here was kind of loose. Yeah, this thing hasn't ran hardly at all. There's that one. Let's see if this back one's as loose as what this other one was. I really like this little tool they used to give you all the time. One thumb. See if we can get it. Yep, one thumb. That thing wasn't even freaking tight. It might be why we had a little bit of a stutter effect going on. You either got it in you or you don't. Either you're going to do a good job or you're not going to. It's either 35 or 40. Let's check this. I luckily have the gap on my phone along with the manual. 35 thousandths fits in there pretty easy. So we're going to add that to a 10 and see if we're in at 40,000. 40,000 is what it's supposed to be at for the 999 engine. Okay, we just squeezed them together. It is 40,000, nice and tight. So the spark plug's good. Looking at the spark plugs here up close, you can see they've both been burning, so that's a good thing. No, that's not rust. I know it looks like it through the viewfinder. So we're good on that. So let's go ahead and put these back in there. Let's go ahead and coat that battery with a little battery protector here. That way it helps keep it from corroding up later. And I think when I was out here, it was like cold. We got that protected. That'll help out quite a bit. Like I said, batteries, change them every 4 years, 5 years max. I usually put a speck of anti-seize on there, but they came out pretty easy, so I'm not too worried about that. So let's go ahead and get these back in. Okay, we've actually snugged those up. That clicked. That one clicked. Get our tools up and off the thing. Yeah, you can't get that no more, but it's lasted for, what, 13, 14 years now. Yeah, I've got plenty of these in my bag. I mean, in reality, we could leave it back here in the back. There you go, that's back behind the fuel regulator. Do not want to lose this little puppy. I had a heck of a time finding it originally. Let's go ahead and put this back together real quick. Make sure you don't get the panel, which is aluminum, at least this one, into the electrical, because that'll hurt. And we'll do manual starting. So let's go ahead and start it up. Sounds more steady. Most important thing, make sure this thing is back on auto. Display looks like it's already lost its time. That's why it's not exercising. They need a new controller. It's never going to test itself. It's constantly losing itself. Yep, that's the problem. Ready to run even with that removed? Really? Cranking? No, not really. Yep, I need a new controller. One last look at it, you know what I'm saying? We can go in there and reset the maintenance again. I need a new controller, so I'm gonna get a picture of the serial number and we'll give them a price on a new controller. That's what's going on. That was the first thing we caught. Now, as far as the verifier that's electronic, I mean, we can get them a price on a new one, but I think they're junk. It's easier, just come out and poke your head out and look at the light. More reliable, as long as you're reliable. So, all right, guys, that's going to wrap this one up. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumb. Check out the other generator videos. Until next time, we'll catch you on the next one. Oh, yeah, one more thing. The battery voltage that I had on the transfer coil, being as low as it was, that could be something to do with that module, because that module is sending that power to the relay. It's not a direct coupling straight from the battery, so the voltage could be stepped down through the control circuitry, and it could have something to do with that. But it's been a while since I've even checked that voltage, so I think it always ran a little lower, but you would figure it should be at least 12 volts area. That's one other thing there to think about. But short of that, like I said, new module and new verification, new verifier, if that's what they want. So till next time, this time for real. Later.